Time to stop coddling the people who won't get the shot.
Booster shot. Mission accomplished. And it is. It is time to stop coddling them, the ones who won't get the damn shot already. And our first step, you and I, is symbols, the language we use. We call these people vaccine hesitant, vaccine skeptics, anti-vax. We say they're protesting mandates and passports. They're making a personal choice. They're waiting for more information. They're making a medical decision. Bullshit! They're afraid. They're afraid to get vaccinated. Stop feeding their egos about what they're doing. Stop legitimizing it. Vaccine hesitant, they're afraid. Vaccine skeptics, they're afraid. Anti-vax, they're afraid. They're protesting mandates and passports. They're afraid. They're making a personal choice. They're afraid. They're waiting for more information. Afraid. They're making a medical decision to be afraid. The snowflakes are afraid. Afraid of the vaccine. Afraid of being proved wrong. Afraid of doing what anybody else in the world tells them to do. Afraid of needles. So no more pleasant euphemisms about what's going on here, apart from the people who have legitimate medical complications about vaccines. We have to stop coddling the morons who will not get the shot. We start by calling them what they are. They are all snowflakes and cowards and idiots and losers. And most importantly, they are afraid.
All right. First and foremost, giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rahakwatash for the spirit to do this lesson. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the men of the Lord, prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom Barakatham. And what you just heard and just seen was a what's being called on the internet a very unhinged and unreasonable Edomite. You know, this is how you know we got this devil on the ropes. And you know, and I don't say that carnally speaking, but just through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, you know, the truth has been coming out. Jake is more weary of them. His plan isn't going the way he wants. And you can see him walling out, man. This is the sentiment that that's it. This is the beginning of the sentiment that's getting ready to be pushed all throughout the earth, man. All right. And the reason I'm going to call this lesson reviling before blood, because that's one of my favorite scriptures in Sirach, because it pertains to the time now. When a man starts demonizing you, starts calling you all these names, you know, idiots, cowards, you know, you're afraid. They're 100% gaslighting you because they have no information. They have no data to back them up on why we should get it truthfully, you know, when you really look into it. But yet this is the language that they're using, you know. Now this guy lives in an area around New York, and 72% of Jake don't want to get it, man. They don't want to get the you know what. So what is he really saying underneath everything he just saying when 70-some% of Jake don't want to take it? Really, this guy is coming against the Israelites, man. So the scriptures talked about this, so I'll get a precept, so I'm not dragging this on too long. But this says Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 22, verse 24. It says, as the vapor and smoke of a furnace goeth before the fire, so reviling before blood. All right. And I just realized I'm not sharing my screen. Hold on one second. Salakia. I'm getting used to this software here. Let me share. Again, this is Sirach 22 and 24. It says, as the vapor and smoke of a furnace goeth before the fire, so reviling before blood. So reviling is basically a very harsh characterization of a person, using speech. Look, reviling. It says criticize in an abusive or angrily insulting manner, and that guy was very, this guy's very heated, man. He's very what he said was very, very insulting, and for people who have any critical thinking skills, which anyone should, but they just choose not to. It's insulting to your intelligence, even. Get some precepts. This says Job. This is Job chapter 20, verse 12. It says, "Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue." All right. So when you hear this guy talking about let's stop using the cute words, he said the words that they were using for us, the anti, maxinators, I guess. That was him being nice. All right. So this shows you Esau tries to play around with words. He tries to like disguise what he really means when he speaks, when he really been spewing vitriol the entire time, man. All right, but now you can see he's gotten to the point to where there's a saying called "take the gloves off." That's where this guy is at, man. This Keith Olbermann guy, on Twitter, and his own people are going against him on this because he looks crazy, man. None of this makes sense, and we know Esau, you have no choice. The Most High, it doesn't matter how irrational it is for you to come against us. You're still going to do it because the Most High is going to put the spirit on you to do it. This kind of speech is going to get worse and worse, man. All right. This is not going to be the end of it. This is the beginning of it. And eventually, like the scripture said, going back to Sirach 22 and 24, it says, so reviling before blood. So what comes after this speech of reviling, calling us idiots and cowards and this and every name in the book? What comes after that? Bloodshed, man. Eventually it's going to lead to people getting hands put on them. All right. Because it's not just going to be Jake, although we're the target. All these other so-called white people, these Edomites, are also going to find that second Ezra, the 15th chapter, is going to come to pass. This is going to be one of the ways that it does. All right. So going back to Job 20 and 12, it says, the wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. So he's always felt this way about you people, man. He just really needed an excuse. All right. When he was trying to coddle you and say, come on, take it, we'll offer you $1,000 or it's not that bad, you just got to get a booster and here's some numbers and some data here. And that was him coddling you. And he just admitted it here. And I'll play the video again in a second. But he said he's done coddling. So now he spared it. But he didn't forsake how he felt. Eventually, what he had to say ended up coming out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because he's the wicked. Psalms chapter 10, one of my favorite chapters. I could read the whole thing basically. This is Psalm. I'll start at verse 2. Psalms 10 and 2. It says, the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined, because what they've imagined is basically a new world order. We all know this, right? Even people who aren't so-called not so-called, but even people who are not in the truth, you got a group of people called truthers, but they don't have the truth, but they believe in certain things. The Illuminati, they're hip to Rothschilds. They know a few conspiracies and et cetera, et cetera. See, that thing is being found out, man. It says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. So this new world order is one of them, and the plan is being foiled through information, through the internet. Because you have a whole group of people, like I said, those truthers, they all know about this, man. They all see it coming. That's why there's so much resistance to this thing. That's why in Revelation 13, it says he calls it all, both small and great, because people Not everybody just voluntarily did it. They were forced to do it, you know? So the resistance that you're seeing is biblical, but it says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. And that device, this is one of them, is you know, sheep herding you into a certain direction. All right. Because all of your rights and your freedoms have been steadily getting taken away this entire time. You know, you speak about a certain group that lives alternative lifestyles, like Dave Chappelle's going through that right now. What happens? You know, you get put on a list. They demonize you. They try to attack you. They try to get you fired from your job. You know, if you don't take this Maxine Waters, this Vanessa, what happens? It's the same thing, you know. So this is all a big device, man, to separate people who aren't going to play ball. Because eventually, like it says, you know, reviling comes before blood. All right. Verse 3, Psalms chapter 10, verse 3 says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. Because what they're getting by doing this whole thing is letting the rich get filthy rich. They don't care about how many, you know, suicides are up, or domestic violence, you know, cases, or just murders or deaths in general. They really don't care. All they care about is that top elite 1%. They siphon off more assets and resources from the bottom, man. You know, this is how we know, like a lot of movies like Hunger Games and all of that stuff, it's really a foreshadowing of what's really going on, man. These movies, you know, intentionally or not, spell out the things that Esau kind of has planned, you know. Verse 4, Psalms chapter 10, verse 4, it says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts, because if he was, he would at least consider letting people make their own decisions, man. Have faith, pray. But that's not even a thought in this guy's mind. If you're not with what he tells you to be with, then you're a problem, you know. And eventually they're going to be able to name you as an enemy combatant. And that goes back to the Patriot Act. If they can name you as an enemy combatant, man, they can basically put you in the category of a terrorist. And terrorists don't have rights. They can take you off to a CIA black site. You know, you don't have any rights. You don't go before a judge. There's no trial, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we see how second nature is coming to pass, man. When the scriptures speak about it in Revelation 3, some of us being thrown into prisons, concentration camps. We've been talking about this the whole time, man. All right. Verse 5, it says, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. All right. Because he's doing the same shaming tactic against his own people over there in Europe, over there in France. You know, they're rioting and stuff. You know, he has a very contentious relationship with China. He's blaming them for this whole thing. You know, even though it's a man-made thing that of a lab that he funded and for the research. And we know the CDC, y'all got all kind of, you know, pathogens down there that y'all experimenting on, man. Come on. You know, that show Raising Dion I watched recently, it goes into how Esau he has labs, man, just to experiment on things, rare phenomenon and occurrences, man, you know. And the CDC has a lab very similar to that show, man, that has all kind of nasty pestilences, man. I believe some of the pestilences that the Most High speaks about as being a plague on Egypt, Esau has already created them, man. You know, just because Esau creates something doesn't mean it's not a pestilence or a plague of the Most High, because when you look at the Most High's his weapon of indignation, all right, I believe that's spoken about in Isaiah. Who made that, man? Esau made that. Thermonuclear missiles. Esau made that, but they are the Most High. So don't be surprised, man. You know, it says verse 6, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. And that just goes back to this guy's pride, man. You know, you got to be very, very prideful to think people are just going to take what this guy is saying. Like, who's going to listen to you, man? You know what I'm saying? Now you showed your hand. Now we know you crazy, you know, which we always knew you were. But now you're showing more and more Jakes. This videos like this could be the thing that triggers some of the elect to snap out of that spell that they're in, because everybody is under a giant spell of witchcraft. You know, when they see Esau, you know, going off like this, man, this is beautiful, because this is one way Jakes can wake up. You know, it says this is the main point, really. It says his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. And this is cursing and deceit and fraud. You heard the insults. You know he's being deceptive because he doesn't have any information to show you this is gonna actually protect you. You know, they're already screaming about variants taking people out. You know, Israel, of the country of Israel over there, you know, they're what, 80% took the you know what, and they're having the biggest outbreak since the beginning of it, man. You know, he tries to hide things like natural immunity. And it says, and fraud. So this whole thing is a fraud. Why? Because he's getting billions upon billions. I think Pfizer stock is up 20 times since beginning of last year. You know, this is, man, the scriptures are on point. It says, under his tongue is mischief and vanity. All right. So what this guy is doing is just proving the scriptures right. Yet once again, it says, verse 8, he said it in the lurking places of the villages and the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. Because what they don't tell you is 80% of people over the age of 60 already have taken this thing. And those are the people most likely to die. So really, he doesn't have any more reason to push this. But why is he continuing to push it? Because 70% of Jake don't take it. That's the poor, man. That's who he got his eyes set against. You know, this is a perfect example of that. Verse 9, it says, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. All right. Why? Because he shut down the country. That's a net, man. He set you up. He took something away from you, and now he's gonna use the thing that he took away from you as a reward if you play ball, if you do what he asked you to do. You want to get back to freedom? Well, you got to do this. This is 100% out of this guy's playbook, man. And the scripture spoke about this, man. This isn't anything new. It says he croucheth and humbleth himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. All right. It says he hath said in his heart, God hath forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. Arise, O Lord Jehovah, O power. Lift up thine hand. Forget not the humble. And the Most High is not going to forget the humble, man. And that's the last one I want to make here. The Most High is not going to forget the humble. All right. If you sincere in this thing, man, whether your job is on the line or Esau tries to hem you up, you know, the Most High is going to be with us, man. We just have to endure. But ultimately, we're going to get the victory. The scriptures speak about that. All right. So if I may, I'll close out here. I'll play the video one more time. And then I'll read this Job again one more time. This is Job 5:21. It says, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. So this is a scourge of the tongue, man. I'm going to see what that word scourge means real quick. Just Abu Kusha. This is shot. It's scourge, a whip, a national judgment. A whip, used for whip 6 times. It says, neither shall thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. So we're going to be good, man. The elect are going to see these things and understand it. And that's why it's so important for brothers to do the truth, to be in this truth, to push this truth, to be diligent in this thing. You know, give it your all, man. If you can do a video every day, do a video every day, you know. And, you know, I pray I'm getting better at it, you know. I have to pray, you know, because ultimately this thing ain't about an individual. It's about the Israelites, man, as a whole. And really, ultimately, it's about the earth being put back in its proper place, in its order, about paradise being set back up, everything living in harmony, you know. And above all that, even it's the Most High getting the glory. The Most High is giving us, this is one big giant lesson the Most High is showing us. He's teaching us, you know. It says, verse 22, it says, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So we know this is talking about when it gets really bad, when they start putting people in those concentration camps I spoke about earlier. All right, when the supply chains get held up, or you can't even go into a grocery store because you don't have a certain status, you know, which YouTube is sensitive about, you know, the MOTB, we know where this is going. It says, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth, which suggests strongly that we're going to be out there in the wilderness in the elements. All right, we're going to be on the run, brothers. All right, and that's going to be a beautiful thing, man, because we're going to get back one with nature. You know, I believe a lot of bro's spiritual powers are going to kick in around this time, you know, because the Most High is going to have to deliver his elect. He already promised it, you know. It says, and it's gonna have to happen somehow, because brothers don't know how to live out in the woods, man, how to survive among the out in the wilderness and around different beasts and things like that. The Lord is gonna have to show up, man, whether it be an angel or just brothers getting spiritual powers, you know, or the animals having spirits on them to come and help us. You know, it says verse 5 and 23, Job 5 and 23, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beast of the field shall be at peace with thee, man. So that's what I was saying right here. Going back to Psalms 10, it says, arise, O Lord Jehovah, O power, lift up thine hand, forget not the humble. The Most High is not going to forget the humble, man. You know, so when I go back even further to read the scripture again in Sirach 22 and 24, it says, as the vapor and smoke of a furnace go up before fire, so reviling before blood. We know this reviling means he's getting ready to make his move. He's getting ready to put hands on people. But knowing that, we have to understand that the Lord is going to come through. Okay, this is just a warning. So the elect, which is the shake the elect, you know, for any brothers that may or may see this video, even if it's one brother, you know, this thing is happening, man, you know. So I'm gonna play this one more time. Let me see if I can share it the proper way. Bear with me. Get this going. Let's see.
Time to stop coddling the people who won't get the shot.
Booster shot. Mission accomplished. And it is time to stop coddling them, the ones who won't get the damn shot already. And our first step, you and I, is symbols, the language we use. We call these people vaccine hesitant, vaccine skeptics, anti-vax. We say they're protesting mandates and passports. They're making a personal choice. They're waiting for more information. They're making a medical decision. Bullshit! They're afraid. They're afraid to get vaccinated. Stop feeding their egos about what they're doing. Stop legitimizing it. Vaccine hesitant, they're afraid. Vaccine skeptics, they're afraid. Anti-vax, they're afraid. They're protesting mandates and passports. They're afraid. They're making a personal choice. They're afraid. They're waiting for more information. Afraid. They're making a medical decision to be afraid. The snowflakes are afraid. Afraid of the vaccine. Afraid of being proved wrong. Afraid of doing what anybody else in the world tells them to do. Afraid of needles. So no more pleasant euphemisms about what's going on here. Apart from the people who have legitimate medical complications about vaccines, we have to stop coddling the morons who will not get the shot. We start by calling them what they are. They are all snowflakes and cowards and idiots and losers. And most importantly, they are afraid.
All right, Esau. We see you're triggered. You know, game on. So hopefully our brothers were edified. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rachakwadash Wa Abba Babal Shalom.